that's becoming more and more common, where people are claiming actual interactions with Bigfoot creatures over periods of years on their property, you know.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, I guess if they're hominids, if they're that intelligent, then they might, that could develop, you know, but there's a millionaire, I forget his name, that has spent a lot of money on Bigfoot research over the past few years, like funding people, like paying them a salary to like camp out in the woods and look for Bigfoot. Supposedly a hunter in either the Sierra Nevadas or somewhere up in the Pacific Northwest shot a Bigfoot a few months ago, or maybe it was like more like a year ago. Didn't know what it was at first. There's a couple of different renditions of the story, so it's kind of like the Chinese whisper effect, but ultimately he got some people from the BFR to go down there and they either found blood or hair or whatever, and apparently this millionaire guy contracted a scientist from Princeton University to do DNA testing on it.
Okay.
And what they're saying now, or what I'm hearing, is that they actually do have Bigfoot DNA, and that they're basically getting all their legal ducks in a row, and that sometime coming this year they're going to come out with this big press conference and announce that they have Bigfoot DNA finally. So it's one of those things you're hopeful about, but it's kind of like the Georgia hoax. It's like, is this just all a crock of shit? Or are they just making stuff up? There's a secondary story about a lady in Kentucky who was, just like we were talking about, who's feeding a Bigfoot pancakes. He said she would make pancakes and leave them out on her backyard, and she'd watch this Bigfoot walk up and eat the pancakes every morning. And supposedly she was able to extract DNA from the pancakes, and that's a whole nother set of testing that's being done by another group. So it's kind of, there's a little bit of a crisscross there.
Yeah.
The part that gets really weird, you guys know I'm all about what the really weird parts, right?
Yeah.
From what I heard, the Bigfoot DNA looks almost identical to human DNA with just a few minor variations. And in fact, the scientist that studied it said that she thought that it looked like the DNA was Neanderthal or human DNA that had been manipulated somehow.
Interesting.
So, I mean, if that's true, then that's going to like bring the whole world down, right? It's like, okay, Bigfoot, score, extraterrestrials, score, whatever, you know. Oh, we're not going to wake you up now. If you come down here and we've all been eaten by a Chupacabra, I just hope that you'll market that into the proper book, movie, or whatever you can do with that, okay? Make us famous. Make us legends. All right. You have a great night, sir. Bye-bye. Just checking on us. He's offered to come rescue us if we need to in the morning. Sorry!
Well, what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten, Tim?
Lion.
Was it good?
Tastes like chicken. No, honestly, it tastes like veal. There was a restaurant in Manhattan that specialized in exotic things like that, and I didn't order the lion because I love cats, so I ordered zebra or something weird like that, and my sister had the lion, but I tasted it, and it was basically, it tasted like a veal chop.
Yeah, I'll try anything.
You feel kind of guilty when you do that, because, you know, like, oh, I don't think lions.
What do you think a blue dog tastes like?
Ooh, gosh. Oily, chewy, probably like this beef jerky that I just finished off from Walmart. I don't know. Hopefully I'll never have to eat one, but the question is, what do they eat? That's the real mystery, and that's one of the reasons we're out here and that people are calling them Chupacabras. Do they really drink blood? Is that possible? Maybe they have a mineral deficiency and they crave blood. Maybe they're too weak to chew, so they kill animals and lap a little blood up. I don't know. Sorry, I know this is grizzly dinner talk here, but to me it's fascinating, you know. What a lot of people don't know about the blue dogs, and I don't know if I ever shared this with Richie and Naomi, is that I've tracked down people from Mexico, like older people from Mexico, who claim that they've heard about Chupacabras since the 1930s and 50s, and that they were dog-like animals that were running around in their villages in Mexico and drinking the blood of small animals, which actually fits the description of what we're looking for here. So to all the people out there that say, oh, the Puerto Rican it's not a Chupacabra, my argument would be that no, these are the real Chupacabras here in North America, and whatever they had in Puerto Rico was, you know, it was kind of a flash in the pan, so to speak. Who knows? But Nick had a good theory about that too, because there are a lot of wild dogs in Puerto Rico too. In fact, there are entire villages that have been run over by packs of wild dogs. So who's to say that maybe that's not the root of the livestock killings, And as far as the descriptions, I mean, I think a lot of that is probably just embellishment, you know. Puerto Rican people are obviously more superstitious than we are here, you know, but who knows? I mean, it's a great mystery all the way around.
What did she say about a flying humanoid?
She and her husband, and I think her son, had seen a human-looking flying thing with the wings, and they all had seen it. And a particular area, well, it's fairly close to one of the Air Force bases in San Antonio. I think it's the southeast side of San Antonio. And that's what she said she saw, and that we wanted to come in and talk about it. Just never heard from her since then.
Any theories on what that could be?
If we'd been able to interview her in depth, that would have been a little easier to speculate on, but the first thing that comes to mind is, you know, Mothman, Owlman sightings that people have had, and it sounded similar to that, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Have you had any Mothman experiences, Ken?
I was up there in Point Pleasant back in March, a TV show. I was telling Naomi, I had a couple of weird things happen to me that week right before I left. I was at work, and there's a lady that works back in the warehouse that has, you know, those heavy-duty industrial doors with just a really thin, thick pane of glass. As I was walking up to her office to talk to her, the glass just shattered. No one touched it, nothing moved, no one was around. And what's really weird is that with the glass was all, you know, it didn't blow out, it was just like broken all the way up, but at the very top there were these two things that looked like that, like big eyes. And I immediately told her, I was like, I'm going to investigate Mothman this week, I'm sorry. She was like, get out of here. Or then the next weekend, I was speaking at the Texas Ghost Show in Beaumont, and two ladies walked up to my booth in Beaumont, Texas, and said, yeah, we're from Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Ever heard of the Mothman? Like, okay, what are you doing in Texas? That's kind of weird. And then the final straw was this guy sitting next to me on the plane to West Virginia was from Point Pleasant, because I brought up Mothman, and apparently one of his childhood friends was killed in the bridge collapse. So that all happened to me the week before I went up there. So, you know, it was a lot of synchronicities, which I just, oh shit, that one's for the birds. All right, guys.
Looks good, Ken.
Yeah, I did my best.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sure, we got plates right here.
I denied it for years. Everyone has a sixth sense. It's just a matter if you want to see it or not. That's what she tells me. And she's like,
His mom knows everything.
you can't lie to her. She knows stuff that you wouldn't even like about my family and stuff. She's real psychic. She leaves her body a lot and stuff, like to go see her guides and stuff. My mom that night went through whatever that little girl went through. I remember I woke up and she was screaming bloody murder and stuff. I don't know what happened. She was just living out with it, and she's like the whole, like, I got up, went, tried to calm her down, and 10 minutes later she was just once again screaming like bloody murder, like someone was about to kill her. And she told me, she's just like, what I went through and this is what that little girl went through, and just never want to go through it again. But she tries to help out spirits and stuff, help find their way, and go. Cool. Yeah.
I was 14, and this was a really cute little cottagey house on Main Street that we moved into. It always felt creepy. It just felt really wrong to me, and I'd never had that in any of our houses. And I really didn't tell my parents, but I just didn't like to be in there. I had a really bad experience one night in my bedroom, and you know, sleep paralysis stories, and people try to say, well, it's sleep paralysis. Well, I hadn't been to sleep. And I never read those. It's always they went to sleep and then they swear they woke up, and then everyone says, no, you were really still asleep, or you were at least in that paralysis stage. I never went to sleep. I laid down on my bed, and all of a sudden I just felt like something was at the foot of the bed. I never saw anything, but I felt it, and my fear grew until it just physically something happened to my body, and I went paralyzed, literally. It wasn't like I was too scared to move. And I felt like I blew up like a balloon. I don't know what happened, but it was a very physical thing that happened, and I couldn't see and I couldn't move, and it was just terror just overtook me, and I couldn't move, and I felt like I was almost floating, like someone just blew me up, you know. And then when it went away and I could move, I ran out. It was horrible. It was the worst experience I've ever had, and I never told Mom and Dad. I slept in their room the rest of the night on the floor.
I was the one dismissing it until finally happened to me, and I remember we were little. One of the houses we moved, there was an old lady when we first moved in, one of my dad's friends saw an old lady in like the window and stuff when we were, and it was weird. And then like throughout like our stay there at the house, my mom would come into her room and like she'd look at me and my brother, and we stayed in the master bedroom. Me and my brother had that. We were sleeping, and there would be no covers on us, nothing. She would leave, she would come in, and we'd be tucked in, just fully tucked in, just every night. It was like that, every single night. We
It's a
were
good go.
yeah. But, never know.
It's a sound collar.
It's a game collar. It's got like wounded rabbits and baby jackrabbits, howls. It's not very, this one's really cheap too, but did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Hear what?
Something howled at us.
Like in real life?
Yeah.
How did I not hear that?
Like over here.
You definitely heard the howl.
Well, I wish I had. Everyone but me.
For some reason, the sound of distressed rabbits is the most popular. I guess everything loves to eat baby rabbits. Well, we did get a howl, so we're definitely going to keep that handy tonight. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit lighter tonight, but it seems to be kind of overcast. You know, it's a full moon, but it's overcast, so that's kind of unfortunate. Hopefully it won't rain, because that will definitely put a damper on our plans, right? You did? All right. Something's moving around us. Maybe it's our friend the Chupa.